Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just quickly tell me if everyone can hear me, specifically the graduates to the back seat. Am I audible? Good morning. Just in formation regarding the photographs taking, every graduate, welcome to your graduation session this morning. All graduates need to have one of these yellow cards and then also a name ticket. And about half of you would have hoods, the other half don't have hoods. I'm going to explain both sides to you just now. Once the time arrives, you'll be asked then to move from your chairs to your right hand sides and then proceed forwards. The yellow cards will be taken on your way to the stage, and these tickets you'll hand in at the person on the podium. And the third thing, with the hood strung over your left forearm. Very important, this carpet is placed on a certain place to have focus and crop right. If you stand off the carpet, you will go out of focus, cut you into half, wherever you stand. So please do take care just to stand on that carpet for that first photograph to be taken from that side, left-hand side. Please then proceed. High certificates, let me get this right, diplomas, advanced diplomas. You'll get a ceremonial nod from the CEO there. There are people with the hoods, PCGE, PGCE, and bachelor's, honors, masters, and PhDs. You'll stop there with the CEO, and then the banding or the kneeling box will be placed in front of him. You'll kneel down, look him in the eye. If you've got long hair on your left hand side, please just clear it. The photograph again will be taken from your left side from the stage. Please then proceed. Higher certificates, diplomas, advanced diplomas. You'll be congratulated at the last point where your second photograph is going to be taken. And the other qualifications, PGCE, bachelor's, honors, masters, and PhDs. You'll hand your hood over to the registrar. Stand on that carpet. You'll see that it's off-center. That's specifically for a reason, for the registrar to also be visible in your photograph, that balance. And once that hood moves over your face, past your chin, be that exact time that third photograph is taken of you again from that set of cameras on your left-hand sides. Please then leave the stage. You'll receive a scroll from that table still on your left-hand sides. And then also important, you need to exit the hall through the first glass door. There's a large arrow on the floor. Head and shoulders portrait will be taken. Then you'll collect your qualification paper from your actual qualification. And then please return back to your respective seats. These set of photographs are taken of each and every graduate crossing the stage. However, if you want to have them sent to you, please make an order outside in the foyer once the procession has left the stage. And also feel free to take your family members upstairs for photographs with them. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to our autumn 2023 graduation ceremony. We please ask that all phones be switched to silent. Please remain seated throughout the duration of the ceremony and do not leave the hall unless it is an emergency. Please can we rise for the entry of the academic procession.
By virtue of the powers vested in me as the Chief Executive Officer, I constitute this gathering the Congregation of Stari. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try again. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this, the 9th of May graduation ceremony here at our beautiful Centurion campus. This ceremony is part of Stadium's autumn graduation series that started 4 weeks ago in Windhoek, Namibia, and which will conclude later this week here at our Centurion campus. Total, Stadium will offer our graduates during this autumn graduation series 19 graduation opportunities. But ladies and gentlemen, the first graduation ceremony in South Africa was held on the 7th of April 1910 at UCT in Cape Town. A total number of 6 students graduated on that historic day. Today, 113 years later, graduation ceremonies are still a very important part of the academic calendar at universities and higher education institutions throughout South Africa and the entire world. Graduation ceremonies were constituted to be a celebration of academic achievement. And that is exactly what today is, a celebration of these graduates' remarkable achievements. But it is also a historic day for us as an institution, a historic season. Yesterday, at our first graduation ceremony, Stadio conferred its first 2 doctorate degrees, a remarkable achievement for us as an institution as well. But before we continue with the celebrations this morning, please allow me the opportunity to welcome a few people in person. Firstly, our keynote speaker this morning, Dr. Simon Kekana. Dr. Kekana is an old friend of Stadio and is also currently the head of campus of this Centurion campus. Dr. Kekana, as always, it's an honor having you here with us this morning, sir, and we look forward to your keynote address. Also on stage, our executive head for contact learning in Stadio Higher Education, Professor Patrick Bean. Welcome to all our heads of schools, heads of academics, other academic leadership, deputy registrars present this morning, all lecturing, as well as all support staff. And then I've also been informed we have a few members of the media. Welcome to you as well. A special warm word of welcome goes to our people there at the back, the family and friends of our graduates. You being here with us this morning makes this event extra special, especially for our graduates. And that then brings me to our VIPs, our graduates. So I know later on the program, there is a congratulatory address, but I think it's appropriate for me at this stage to congratulate you all on this remarkable achievement. We as Stadio like to say congratulations. Well done. May I say, we are very, very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a nice round of applause. To the graduates, when you walk over the stage this morning, and I can see the excitement there in the front rows, they can't wait to do so. I also see a few nervous faces. Don't be. You're going to do very well. Enjoy every moment of it. But when you walk over the stage this morning, you become part of a very special group. And that group is the Stadio alumni. As an institution, we are very proud of our alumni, and they are sought after, not just in the world of work, but also in the communities where they operate. Our alumni include people such as award-winning teachers, principals of schools, senior lecturers at universities, entrepreneurs, senior directors, both in the public sector as well as in private business, designers, fashion designers, lawyers, police, members of parliament, just to name a few. My plea to you graduates this morning and to all Stadio alumni is to please go out and go and implement and practice what you've been taught during your studies. You are fortunate to be graduates, and with that comes the responsibility to use your education to make a positive impact in your communities. South Africa needs you, graduates. Go out and go and make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, if we look at statistics, we see that only 6% of South Africans have a university degree. Internationally developed countries show up to 35% of the adult population having degrees. Other middle income countries such as Brazil have more than 15% of their population holding degrees. So if we want to be honest with one another, and if we really want to make a change and change poverty, change our social and economic despair that we see currently in this country, and if we want to grow the economy, we have to do things differently. And that means that we have to give more people access to higher education. And that is exactly what Stadio stands for. Our business strategy is built on 3 pillars. Firstly, widening access, giving more people the opportunity to access higher education. Second pillar is that of alignment with the world of work, ensuring that these graduates, their qualifications are relevant, and ensuring that they are sought after in the world of work. And then thirdly, student-centeredness. That is supporting our students to be successful with their studies. Ladies and gentlemen, Stadio is a new vision in higher education. That means we do things differently. So I don't want to bore you this morning. I know that the graduates are very eager to get onto stage with all the things that we think we do very well. But I want to conclude my welcome address by highlighting one such thing that we are very proud of as an institution. Stadio, for those of you who did not know, is a listed company, listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. We are also the only higher education institution in South Africa, and I still stand to be corrected, the only institution in the world that offer our postgraduate students shares in the institution. So what does that mean? It means today, when our honors, masters, and doctorate students, can I see, are there any honors students, masters, doctorates, LLB students here this morning? Yes, there they are at the back. When these students walk over the stage today, they will not just receive their degree certificates, they will also receive their share certificates, making them shareholders in Stadio. Yes, I think they need a round of applause. We do that because we really want to partner with our students. And we want to take that first step with our students in creating their own personal wealth. And hopefully over time, that will develop into generational wealth for their families. I hope that all the undergraduates here this morning will also become shareholders in the future. Together, we will build this institution in the higher education institution, not just in South Africa, but on our continent. I trust that you all feel welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please sit back, relax, and enjoy this celebration with us. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. That sounds like a good morning indeed. Thank you, Mr. CEO, for the warm welcome to this joyous celebration. I must say you're all looking very beautiful this morning, very prepared for this occasion. I am now going to call our keynote speaker, Dr. Simon, on the stage. Dr. Simon Kekana is currently the head of campus at Stadio Centurion campus. He possesses various academic qualifications, including a doctorate from the Rand Afrikaans University, now called the University of Johannesburg. He has broad experience in education and higher education and has held various senior academic positions, including campus director, a deputy vice chancellor, and at present, he is the head of campus in this campus. Please help me welcome on stage Dr. Simon Kekana.
Mr. Chief Executive Officer, Executive Officer, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to be speaking to our graduates this on behalf of Stadio Higher Education. It is my pleasure to congratulate our students this morning. Today marks a milestone event in the lives of our graduating students. Graduation is an occasion of celebration. All of us, all of you this morning must celebrate. And I hope that some of you already started goals and ship out there in your homes. When you go back, there will be big merriment. This is an occasion of celebration. It represents the culmination of years of hard work. You've been working very hard in order to achieve the qualification that you are getting this week. You have been committed, you have been focused in order that in the end, you must be able to get this qualification that you will be honored this week. You and your families have made sacrifices to achieve this, and we understand what you are. You've done an excellent job to be where you are this. We recognize that the attainment of a degree in a tertiary institution, it is an occasion that will be celebrated. You've just heard from our Chief Executive Officer that in our country, as we speak this morning, only 6% of the population has got a qualification from a higher education institution. This is an indictment on our education system, an indictment on the government that is presently in power today in our country. That only 6%, and how much money are we spending on higher education in our countries? Billions are expended on higher education in terms of NASFAs, in terms of subsidies, the institutions and themselves to be able to maintain themselves in terms of the salaries of the lecturers that we have out there. If you look at the salaries of the vice chancellors that we've got in this country, we're spending lots and lots of money on higher education. But today, we stand at 6% of the population, as our chief executive officer has indicated. So indeed, it is true, the attainment of a tertiary qualification, it is an event that must be celebrated, especially in the context of what is happening in South Africa, where many of us, we come from a situation where there is poverty, where we come from a situation where children grow up and they don't have parents, come up from a situation where parents are not economically viable, they're unemployed, and as a result of that, they struggle to take their children through any form of education. There are many obstacles to getting educated in our country. And in 1994, when the dancing statesman became president in our country, we thought all these obstacles are a thing of the past. But indeed, they are not a thing of the past, they are still happening in our country. So we've inherited a poor social structure, we've got a poor cultural structure, we've got very poor economic conditions in our country. And these things are making it very difficult compared to many other countries to have our population properly educated in tertiary institutions. So today, we acknowledge your efforts against all these stumbling blocks, against all these hurdles. You have been able to overcome them. And today you sit here in order to be honored in that respect. So we thank you for making all these sacrifices that you've made. We thank your parents, we thank the communities that you come from, the clans from which you originate. We thank all those people that they've been able to be supportive so that in the end, in spite of and despite the obstacles that we face in our country, we've been able to overcome. And today is a big celebration. But this is just the beginning on your journey of intellectualism. For many of you, it's just a beginning. We hope that you'll be on this road, you'll continue with it until in the end, you reach the highest level of academia so that you also can be counted amongst those people who contributed to the improvement in education in our country. So achieving a degree in our country, achieving a degree in our communities in South Africa, it is a collective effort. You are not here because you struggled alone. You are here because your parents were struggling with you. Your clan from which you come, they struggled with you. Your guardians, they struggled with you. The families that you come from, the communities that you come from, they were also always wishing you well, that in the end, you should be able to become successful in your studies. Those people who sponsored you, those people who funded you, your teachers, your lecturers, everybody, even the priest out there in the church was praying that you must become successful. All of us were standing behind you. So it's a collective effort. You do not become successful alone, you become successful as a result of the support that you get collectively from all people who are struggling with you, that today you should be sitting here and getting this. I wish to address my remarks this morning specifically to those who are sitting out here in front of us, because they have got a form of education that can change our lives as a community, as a province, and even as a country. That together we can be counted among the nations that are overcoming hurdles in order to develop the communities that are to be found living in that country. So I wish to address the remarks that I will make this morning, particularly to these people who are graduating this morning. So whether you are going to continue to with your studies, to further your studies, or whether you are in the world of work, or whether you are one of those people who have achieved the pinnacle of your studies, graduation is an occasion where you must ask yourself, what next can I do? I cannot stop at this qualification that I have, but I have to do something else. And I want to make this contribution in your thinking that you should help us to achieve social justice in our country. The reason why there are so many unemployed people, that our education system is poor in the country, that the economy of the country is not growing, that our hospitals and our clinics are not what they should be. I can go on and on with this list of the strange and bad things that are happening in our country. If you must go and have an operation in a public hospital, you'll be told that the queue is this long, you must come back after 3 years. And when you look at the kind of illness that you have, it means they are saying, go back home and go and die at home. You try to get medication in at the hospitals, they tell you that no, there is no medication, so on. The list is very long and to speak about. So I want to say to you, can you please assist us to achieve social justice in our country? And if you can get social justice in our country, at least we'll be on the correct road to recovering from the many ills that we have in our country. I'm sorry to say that. I regret to say that graduation is a momentous occasion in every student's life. And you should achieve this milestone. You have acquired knowledge, you have acquired skills that will enable you to contribute towards addressing the existing and nascent challenges that we find in our communities, in our provinces, and also in our country. You should be happy, you should celebrate that you've got this qualification and that other people do not have it. And this gives you an advantage over many other people. But I want to say to you this morning, that kind of celebration is not possible in our country today when we've got only 6% of the population who have tertiary education. Your celebration should be muted, your celebration should be postponed, and you must help us to achieve social justice in our country. We've got huge problems in our country, in terms of which you, as a newly qualified person, you must help to contribute to resolve those issues. As you graduate this morning, there are many people this morning who woke up and they were not able to get breakfast in their homes. There are many people as you woke up this morning in a celebratory mood, knowing that you are going to be graduated this morning, who are looking for jobs and they cannot get those jobs. The economy of the country is not growing. It is stagnant. As you woke up this morning, come out here. There are many people who are waiting for operations in hospitals and they've been told now they must go back home and they will call them in due course. So as we prepared to come here, and that is why I say I regret that I have to tell you about these things, but now these are the challenges of being educated in our country. All these problems, we are going to heap them onto your shoulders because you are now an educated person. And with your knowledge and with your skills, you must help us, you must assist us to overcome the challenges that we find ourselves in. Poverty, 2/3 of the people in our country are living in a state of poverty. And topmost amongst those people are women, they are children, they are old people, they are people living with disabilities. All these people are in the top bracket of 2/3 of the people in our country who live in terms of what's named poverty. As we sit here and we are celebrating, and indeed we must celebrate. Even in a funeral, we laugh, we make jokes. It's a way of, bringing about homeostasis as far as our emotions are concerned. So indeed, yes, we have to celebrate, but we must remind ourselves that when we celebrate, we must remember that the type of education that we have, we are supposed to go and address the challenges that we are facing out there. In terms of education, very poor basic education in our country, where children are still dying in pit latrines, where schools are still having 100 children in a classroom when they should be 35. And when you look at the amount of money that we have wasted in terms of corruption in our country, can do nothing except weep at the situation in which we find ourselves. Worst of all, we are one of the most unequal societies internationally throughout the whole world. If you look at the Gini coefficient, and the Gini coefficient is used to measure equality in a society. Our numbers there, they are not what they are supposed to be. We fare very badly as far as those numbers are concerned. Rampant crimes in our country, committed not only by ordinary criminals, but committed also by politicians in terms of corruption, in terms of diverting the goods and the services that must go to the poor people in this country, so that they must be able to enjoy their lives. And it is for that reason that as a UNI must root up for social justice. But then what is social justice? Social justice has to do with the belief that all people should have equal rights and opportunities in the country, whether they are poor or whether they are rich, but all of them must have equal rights and they must have equal opportunities. Opportunities must not only be given to the children of big politicians. Opportunities must not only be given to the children of rich people. Because this is the son of Patrice Motsepe, he must be given an opportunity to entrench himself and become richer. No, social justice says all of us, we must be given equal opportunities, whether it is in terms of education, whether it is in terms of improving our economic positions in life, whether it is in terms of job opportunities in our country. We must be given equal opportunities as the people of South Africa. So social justice is the type of justice that is rooted in the idea that all people in South Africa must have equal rights. They must have equal opportunities and they must have equal treatment. This is social justice. But we don't have social justice in our country. And it is for that reason that you find certain people living in informal settlements. Some people living on the brink of a river, so that when it rains and there are floods, like we had yesterday, then the water takes you and it takes your house as well. So social justice is the view that everyone deserves equal economic, political, and social rights and opportunities. All of us must have those things in our country. I must be able to have a plate of food in front of me on a daily basis. I must not be excluded from having those things. Your child, our children, they must have an opportunity to go to school. Not all children in our country have that opportunity. Every year, about 1.2 million people, children, they start grade North or grade R down there. But 12 years later, when they've written their matriculation examination, only 500,000 children have written that examination. Go back tomorrow after the celebration when investigate that. How many children did we have of those who passed matric last year? How many of them started grade North out there? You told about 1.3 million. And how many wrote their examination last year at the end of the year? 600,000 children. Where are the rest of the children? You can't tell me that they all died. Yes, some of them might have died, but not all of them died. So what is happening as far as our education system is concerned? These are the issues that you and I must now sit back after celebrating and find out. But what can we do about the present situation that we find in our country? So social justice is premised upon 4 pillars. The first pillar of social justice is access. You and I must have equal access to anything in the country, whether it is justice, whether it is education, whether it is economic activities, whether it's funding from the government, whatever it is, you and I must have equal access. It must not only be the children of politicians who have better access to all the things that we've got in the country. It must not only be the politicians who have better access in terms of whatever it is here in our country. And that the second pillar of social justice is equity. Equity, we can all have access, but if that access is not based on equity, on what I need, on what I need, and not what I greedily want to have. So, for example, you cannot say that because you are giving people RDP houses in South Africa, then you must also give Patrice Motsepe an RDP house. He does not deserve it. It is not equity. You cannot say that because all people are getting social grants in our country, then Patrice Motsepe must be given a grant. No, he does not deserve it and he does not need it. That is not equity. So you must, all of us, there must be equity in our country. The third pillar of social justice is participation. All of us, we must be given equal participation in whatever it is. If you look at the political situation in the country, only the politically connected, they go to parliament. They get nice money there. They eat nice lunches there. They've got a house here in Gauteng. They've got another house out there in Cape Town. But if you are politically connected, you've never heard about a poverty-stricken people rising from the ashes and ultimately ending up in parliament because of his ability and because of equal participation, equity, as well as access. The fourth pillar of social justice is human rights. We all have rights. But in our country, other people have got better rights than other people. And that is why you see people commit crime. If you steal a sweet at Checkers, 5 years. But if the same crime is committed by a politically prominent person in the country, he must have been sick. No, he forgot it was in his pocket. That kind, all sorts of excuses are made for him not to appear before a court of law. But you try it, will come and see you languish in there for 5 years. Now you and I, as academics, as we are finishing this morning, while getting this qualification, say, let us fight for social justice in our country. Let me tell you what happened to Kwame Nkrumah with all the energy in 1957, with all the energy when he became the president of what was then the Gold Coast. Eloquent, a philosopher, written all sorts of books, insightful, good things that he did. When he speaks, fire and brimstone, you are all energized. We are going to work for this country. So when he became the political leader of what then later on became Ghana, he said, and this he said to the people, we shall measure our progress by the improvement in the health of our people, by the number of children in school, by the quality of their education, by the availability of water and electricity in our towns and villages. You know, when I say electricity, I cringe. You can have load shedding just now. This is what Kwame Nkrumah say. People are going to have electricity and what in the villages and everywhere and in the towns by the happiness which our people take in being able to manage their own affairs. The welfare of our people is our chief pride. And it is by this that my government will ask to be judged. Kwame Nkrumah died poverty-stricken in a foreign country, in Budapest, far away from the African continent. And where is Ghana today? Where is Ghana today? Well, in the same basket as Ghana. So I want to say to you, we must not be like this. When we make promises to people, we must keep them. You know, Amilcar Cabral said the following things when he spoke to the people. He said, hide nothing from our people. Hide nothing from the masses. If you have a problem, you're a politician, you're a leader, tell the people, this is our problem. This is the kind of solution that we have, and this is how we're going to address it. So Amilcar Cabral said, tell no lies. Expose lies whenever they are told. Mask no difficulties. Mask no mistakes. Mask no failures. Claim no easy victories. But this is the staple food that we get in our country. Lies, failures, difficulties, mistakes, a lot of them. And these mistakes, they affect our children and they affect the future of our country. Right now, our country has stagnated economically. And he said something very interesting that you and I must bear in. He said, always bear in mind that people are not fighting for ideas. Your father, your mother, your grandfather is not interested in political ideologies, Marxism, socialism. No, they're not interested in that. All they're interested in is they must make a little bit of money, they must buy food, must be able to eat, and then we must go to school. That is all that we're interested in. So if you come to us, then you tell us that no, our political party stands for this. No, we're not interested for that. Tell us how much food are you going to put in front of us so that we must be able to feed our children. So America Kamara says, always bear in mind that people are not fighting for ideas, for the things in anyone's head. I don't want anything in the head of Kwame. I don't want anything in the head of Zuma. All that I want to be able at the end of the day to put food in front of my children so that they sleep. And he says, people are fighting to win material benefits. I want to be able to build a house for my children, to live better and in peace. All these killings that we read about of politicians in our country, I'm not interested in them. I don't want them. I want to live better and in peace, to see their lives go forward, to guarantee the future of their children. That is all that we're interested in. Help us to be able to achieve this. Carry the study flag wherever you go, carry it very high. Congratulations and make the most. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Simon Gigana, for your words of encouragement this morning. You have highlighted some of the key challenges that we face as a country that we can address through education. I can assure you the graduates are encouraged to go out there and live their duties as social responsible, educated individuals. I now request Dr. Johan Riedeleng Hayes to present the names who appear in the program.
Thank you, Ms. Malyaga. Now, before I start, remember, as was mentioned earlier, we're not at a funeral. I need smiles, especially when you come up to the stage. This is a celebration to all students, and I want everyone to clap hands for each student coming to the stage. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the highest certificate in management on the following students. The certificate is an NQF level 5 qualification with 120 credits and 6 modules. And remember, look at the cameras and smile, please. Thank you. Onolo Bopape. Sibongile Gondwe. Nontutuzelo Grobler. Koketso Fatiayo. Sam Junker. Olutandu Kambule. Gretel Buttress. I don't see his smiles, eh? Zelma Christubau. Now listen, Lerato Tire passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Yeah, that's the spirit. Hannah Flutler. Right, listen. Cheyenne Dupree passed cum laude with 8 distinctions. Right, you smile, you no, smile there, né? Moneso Gudo. But don't smile, see smiles here, remember. Mayeniziwe Kanyile. Tato Linala. Stembiso Mamoha. You must start smiling there already, eh? Gaugelo Mataboge. Justine Mulungoi. Sumaya Mustafa. Don't smile at me, eh? Kumisa Matiso. Cholofelo Ramaifo. Koketso Sediane. Sepang Skosana. Musa Suventle. Sepo Masia. Smile. Shriyan Singh. Farinique Clark. Utihawe Maradwa. Bonolo Macho. Lindo Kufle Mdaka. Yeah, that is what you must do, eh? Simpiwe Mjalose. But listen, Angela Milenkovic passed cum laude with 5 distinctions. Eleanor Mitala. Another one. Motlakaladi Modishana passed cum laude with 5 distinctions. Renewal. Oh, renewal. Wait for the name, but you're doing everything right. Just smile now. Renewal Boleke. Refilwe Munare. Letabo Motsepe. If you look at me, I'm not going to read your name until you look at the camera, eh? Paul Nsanguini. Titania Reddy. Puti Sebati. All right, listen. Just relax. Shanae Smith passed cum laude with 7 distinctions. And another one, Antoinette Venter passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the programs received their qualifications in absentia. I thank you. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the diploma in business management on the following students. The diploma is an NQF 6 qualification with 365 credits. Thank you. Kuselo Zozini. Tasneem Kaka. The persons whose names were not read but appeared in the program received their qualification in absentia. I thank you. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the diploma in fashion on the following students. The diploma is an NQF 6 qualification with 360 credits and 22 modules. No, smile, eh? Tabu Luele. Kamutlira Mapundu. I don't see smiles anymore. I'm going to keep on saying that, ne? Right. Simpiwe Mbunani. Koketso Motlutsi. Butle Nyambose. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the program receive the qualification in absentia. I thank you. Let's give them all a hand so far. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the diploma in events management on the following students. The degree is an NQ 6, a level 6 qualification with 360 credits. Diploma in events, Nawila Ali, cum laude with 9 distinctions. And look at the camera, eh? Husna Saeed, cum laude with 13 distinctions. Shaylee Erasmus. We must give everyone a hand. They've achieved a lot and they worked hard. Callan Jacobs. Right, listen. Yanni van Biljoen, cum laude with 12 distinctions. The persons whose names were not read but appeared in the program received their qualifications in absentia. I thank you. Please give them all a hand. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Business Administration on the following students. The degree is an NQF level 7 qualification with 360 credits and 18 modules. Right, remember the smiling and looking at the camera. I'm going to repeat that the whole time. Jean-Ray David. My apologies, wait. Jean-Ray David. The carpet, I don't see a smile. Danielle Engels. Tihane Grootherder. James Lord. Caleb Pyther. Hildone Strauss. Armand van die kerk. Armand Venter. Lyndall Armstrong. My apologies for the delay, colleagues. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Commerce in Business, Business Marketing, NQF level, 16 modules. Kaylee Duplessis. Kellen Dupree. Madele Lutike. My apologies, Madeli Ludeke. Manelisi Nyamane. Donique Rieger. Johanni Venter. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the program receive their qualification in absentia. I thank you. Let's give them a hand. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Commerce in Fashion on the following students. The degree is an NQF level 7 qualification with 373 credits and 29 modules. Sibusiso Banzana. Kara Besaidnout passed cum laude with 22 distinctions. And another one, listen. Julianne Ferreira passed cum laude with 26 distinctions. Gemma Lawson-Smith. Gemma Lawson-Smith. Sinitemba Mlochwa. Ngwedi Mukwera. Manto Ramaila. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the program receive their qualification in absentia. I thank you. Let's give them a hand. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Education in Foundation Phase Teaching on the following students. The degree is an NQF Level 7 qualification with 516 credits and 40 modules. Rahima Banda. Tegan Barnard. Yashtika Bugareth. We start smiling at the bottom there already, remember. Holly Castle. Right, listen. Nikita Chetty, passed cum laude with 33 distinctions. Mampodi Dikhale. You must smile, Mampodi. Jodel Gounder. Suzanne Grimes. Belindi Kotze. Dune Kuhn. Now we must clap hands, eh? Don't get tired. Not a funeral, remember. Tamiz Martin. Camogelo Baganiela. Smile, ne? Tebetse Matsepe. Shonisani Mawela. Fezile Mbuli. Cien Mog. Lerato Moniake. Megan Morgan. Nelisiwe Charlie. Come on, let's give them all a hand, eh? Cynthia Muchna. Michlali Ngebulani. Capello Nkanka. Tokozile Nkosi. All right, listen. Nokuzola Zimande passed cum laude with 36 distinctions. And listen. Aisha Pandor passed cum laude with 38 distinctions. Nearly 40, eh? Poonam Patel. Salome Nchong. Ronwin Price. Segofatso Ramalepe. Leonie Sherman. Annika van Rijswijk. Tabisile Zonni. Now look at the camera. Yes. Not at me or the audience. Pumelele Zwane. Nompumelelo Zwane. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the program receive the qualification in absentia. I thank you. Let's give them a hand. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Policing Practice on the following students. The degree is an NQF Level 8 qualification with 360 credits and 15 modules. Elizabeth Zwane. The persons whose names were not read for that one student but appeared in the program received their qualification in absentia. I thank you. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Business Administration on the following students. The degree is an NQF Level 7 qualification with 360 credits and 18 modules. Let's give them a hand. Hendrik Abrams. Deborah Olasihobo. Nomadlozi Bota. Brent Bota. Karin Breed. Mochabi Chepe. Mochabi Chepe. All right, listen. Cohen Chetty with 8 distinctions. And another one. Portia Chiluane passed with 9 distinctions. Bernard Davids. Come on, you must give them a hand. You must give each one of them a hand. All right, listen. Angelique de Villiers passed cum laude with 8 distinctions. Boutle Dlamini. Carol Frost. Bonginkosi Gabelana. Salmithia Gawain. Bonapula Geweld. Come you must smile, eh? Letitia Govender Bikarilal. Shikara Kettle. Abram Kutuwe. Kandiwe Kumalo. Dumisani Fuswayo. Smile, Smanga. Smanga Kok. Mpo Ledwaba. My apologies. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Business Administration honors, 9 modules, 132 credits, and a NQF level 8 qualification. Let's give them a hand so long. Kenitse Bareki. Ramokone Bopela. Sekutlo Dikova. All right, listen. Andre Hildebrand passed with 4 distinctions. Ritsang Ketile. You must smile like him, eh? Mereki Kekana passed with 4 distinctions. Right, listen. Shantae Kilian passed cum laude with 5 distinctions. And listen, Pumuzile Mabena passed with 5 distinctions. Tivulawi Mabila. Constance Makeke. The camera. Babalwa Majenge. Look at the camera and smile. All right, listen. Maile Malibate passed with 5 distinctions. Humza Mandindi. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the program received their qualifications in absentia. Mr. CEO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Education honors in inclusive education on the following students. The degree is an NQF level 9 qualification with 126 credits and 6 modules. Don't underestimate the 6 modules, remember. Onayemi Ajibade. John Banzuma. Cindy, Cindy, wait. Just stand and smile first. Cindy Basson. Karen Friedman. Kaibetswe Kuma. Christelle Layton. Pakhalang Mpahlele. Latanya van die Kerk. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the program receive their qualifications in absentia. I thank you. Let's give them all a hand. Thank you. Mr. CEO, the following student, I request you to confer the highest certificate in fashion on fashion. The certificate is an NQF level 5 qualification with 120 credits and 9 modules. Mila Benstile. Thank you.
Another round of applause, please. Thank you. I will now call upon Professor Philip Stoop to represent the Top Achievers Awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, students need to achieve an overall average of at least 75% on their first attempt in order to be considered for the awards. Chairperson, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the following top achievers. The top overall achievement in the Bachelor of Business Administration Honours, Shantae Tennille Kilian, with an average of 78.8%. The top overall achievement in the highest certificate in management, Melanie Ekstian, with an average of 90%. And then the top overall achievement in the Bachelor of Commerce in Fashion, Julianne Ferreira, with an average of 84.4%. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Phillips. Can you please give our top achievers a round of applause? Thank you. I will now call upon Mr. Patrick Bean to deliver the congratulatory address.
Good morning. Early afternoon. CEO, Dr. Kekane, colleagues, graduates, family, friends. I have the privilege today to congratulate
all our graduates on behalf of Stadio management and Stadio staff. As you can see, it takes a lot of time and resources to prepare for this event, both by the institution as well as the graduates. I think you can see that in the effort of the dresses, clothes, shoes, hair, so a lot of time and effort goes into this. So one can really ask the question, so why do we have these graduation ceremonies? Because it's really a fantastic event, nice venue, red carpet. It really feels and looks like a magnificent event. When we had COVID, we missed out on 2 years of graduations. And really for us, the loss and the sadness that we felt at the time actually amplifies why this event is so important, both for the graduate community and for the organization. So there's no doubt that this is a landmark event, and it is a serious event. Yes, we do lighten it a little bit, but it is an event where there's a significant thing that has happened, and I'll say something more about it a little bit later. So obviously, the most obvious reason for hosting this event is to hand you your certificate and to formally do. And I really think that our graduates now as alumni of Stadio can help us when on social media in January, February, March, we get a lot of complaints from students who have graduated when they passed the qualification. But this is the event where you get your certificate. You're not allowed to give you the certificate before the ceremony. So we often battle with a bit of negative publicity because we don't want to hand it over. This is the event where we officially and formally are allowed to hand over this qualification to you. Obviously, this is a chance for you to be acknowledged and to celebrate and to embrace the opportunity that you've had to learn and to grow and to celebrate your commitment, your discipline, your hard work, and to actually do it in public. It's one thing to receive your result in an email and to run out to the kitchen and say to the family, I made it. But this is the actual place where you can do it in public. It's also an opportunity for you to acknowledge afterwards, and I'm sure you've done so already, the support and guidance you've received from family, from friends, from colleagues, from the lecturers, administrative staff. I always remember after graduations, some of the academics, I'm so relieved to have seen so-and-so cross the stage because I really had doubts whether that student will make it. So trust me, some of the academics are just as glad that you crossed the stage. Colleague, friends and graduates and colleagues, this is a very symbolic event. I referred to it earlier on. It is the passage from one stage in life to another. Last year, you were still a student and you were navigating. Remember, maybe if you're a one-year student, but there are students who studied with us for 4 years, say on the BA degree, for example, all the pains and stresses with application, registration procedures, worrying whether you'll be able to pay your fees, chasing deadlines, dreading that Turnitin score that comes with your assignment, sending emails when you're impatient to as many people as you know at Stadio. Just fill up this the 2-line and send off emails to try and sort things out. Those prescribed readings that you had to find, those nice, in inverted commas, online tests, the good marks that you got sometimes, and sometimes the not so good results. So that is that one side of the stage that you went through. But now you're a qualified person, a qualified graduate, professional, and you can now apply for a job with this qualification. You can earn a salary with this qualification. You can get professional recognition. Those of you in teaching can now go to SACE and say, here's my certificate. I can now do this. You're a proud Stadio alumni now. You've gained access to another qualification. And that is life, to go for that next step. What is the next step? And you've seen already today the honors students passing the stage. In other graduations, we award master's qualification. And you heard the CEO refer to the PhDs that were awarded. But then we also, as an institution, this is a very important event for us as well. This is the event where our lecturers look at the graduate and they feel proud, and they realize that you've spent long days and long nights working on your qualification. So have they. They've also sat over weekends and in the evenings, marking, answering emails, dealing with student complaints, having Teams and Zoom sessions, and getting involved in debates and assisting a group of students to receive this qualification and to improve their purpose in life. You've heard earlier on, both the CEO and Dr. Kane referred to the 6% of South Africans who have been awarded degrees and certificates of degrees and diplomas in South Africa. Another little bit of information is, or data is, that 50% of people who start at universities, only 50% of them actually finish the qualification. So a lot of people don't have that tenacity to do this and finish. You could have been a student that completed the program through distance learning with us, and that takes a very, very special discipline to be able to make time and to ring fence space in your house where you live, a place where you can study. So we acknowledge that. For the students who completed their qualification, obviously through contact learning, is the other group of students. Many of them moved directly from school, they became students overnight, and they also had to demonstrate their independence, their commitment, and their discipline. So all of this tells us that you've actually demonstrated to us one of Stadio's graduate attributes, and that is this whole resilience issue, this whole grit. And you often hear about the difficult times that we're heading for, and that things are maybe even going to get a little bit more difficult before they get better. That's when we need people with those attributes that can do this. I also ask you to think about how you can use this success to benefit others. Dr. Kakane referred to that as well. And we know that you can make a difference in the lives of other people, and you can be a role model in your community. I would therefore like to congratulate you on your achievement today. Take pride in your achievement. Consider carefully your next goals in life and focus on your efforts to achieve those goals. Don't just put them on a to-do list, but actually activate achieving them. Consider what you believe is right for you and how you will continue on this path of learning. And then finally, I'd just like to join, if you would join me in thanking everyone involved in organizing the ceremony and ensuring that this is a day which you will remember. Thank you.
Thank you. We have come very close to the end of our program. It's time for after party, that's what we call it. It's almost time for the after party. Ladies and gentlemen, Please rise for the singing of the national anthem. And then please remain standing to enable the CEO to dissolve the congregation and for the academic procession to leave the hall.
By virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I now dissolve this congregation.